Good morning, day 4, 9 a.m. Kiev time. Um, Electricity still on, internet still on. Last night was a little strange because early on, about 11 o'clock at night, there was a gunfire. There was a gunfight between. So, if you see the main street, it's called Krishatik, right, where my dad is on. My apartment's behind my dad, and that's in the middle of Krishatik. Now, on the end of Krishatik, um, is this place called Bessarabska Market. It's a famous street market. It goes up a hill towards the presidential buildings, right? And where Zelensky, if you see Zelensky's videos, that's basically below the hill on one side, and then on the other side of the hill is the top of Krishatik, which goes down to Podol and then goes up to Zelensky's, presidential buildings, plus the Ukrainian parliament is up there, right? So there's Krishatik goes like this, and then this way, if you go up like this, you will get to the parliament building and stuff, the top of the hill. And both of them, on both sides, at the beginning of Krishatik and at the end of Krishatik, I could hear gunfire, because of course I'm in the middle of Krishatik, off, like up the hill a little bit, in the rich area. Okay. So yes, there was a gun battles, both of them at about 11 o'clock at night. I don't think we haven't lost anything. I'm sure I would have heard something. After that, about 12:30, I started getting calls that he was going to start dropping some real missiles into Kiev. Some really scary shit. I don't want to tell you what it is because it's really scary. So then me and Tanya decided to. Well, anyways, I decided for Tanya to stay in the bathroom because, of course, the bathroom is the safest place whenever there's a bombing. Something good to know if any of you guys are stuck in a war. The bathroom at night is a very good place because there's no windows, right? So anyway, so we stayed in there all night, but to be honest, it was very quiet. Slept through. I've heard some things. So what's happened around Kiev is they've hit one of the oil reserve depots outside of the city near Vasilkivska. I think I have a friend there. I have to call after this to see how they are. Because if you think about it, like an oil reserve, is that's a very bad thing to hit for the ecological reasons, bad fumes, stuff like this. But we had this about 7 years ago. The Russian military did this 7 years ago. There were some negotiations. They hit one of our oil depots. They're lovely people. Just Putin is a fantastic man, right? Vlad the Mad is the best way. He really does want to be czar of Russia, but not Alexander the Great, more like Ivan the Terrible. So anyways, but the reason why they do this is, I think, is because what this will force the Ukrainians to do is they will have to try to control the fire. And of course, while they're trying to control the fire, the Russians maybe could try to get into Kiev. I mean, just think of the psychopathy of that idea, right? But anyways, like I said, we've held the city. So today's another day. Right? Today's another day. So yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. The newspapers, I'm not sure if they know. Now talking about what's happening in Europe and in America and Canada. You guys are you guys are awesome. Thank you. It means a lot to Ukrainians. This closing down the banking system, the SWIFT banking system, freezing his assets, going after. It's just Abramovich put Chelsea in a charity trust, going after their yachts, everything else. None of this is possible without the people. This is not, your politicians do not want this, right? But it's the people that are making them do this. They know that people are wondering why they're not doing more for Russia. So, the Germans sending 5,000, what did they send? Like 2,000 missiles, anti-tank missiles, I think 1,000 anti-tank, 2,000 anti-aircraft things. Those are really important. Those are not the 5,000 helmets the German chancellor originally sent to the Ukrainian army. And this is all to do with the people, right? This is why democracies win over dictatorships. So yes, it's very important. Keep on pushing. You guys matter. Your opinion matters. Um, yeah. I also wanted to say, so yes, and if you, sorry, like I said, we're safe, we're fine. I don't know what's happening outside of Kiev. It's been very silent, which could be good, very good news, or could be not so good news. I just hope that we've held all the cities except for Melitopol. Um, but another thing is what I would like to end with is, of course, if you have any Ukrainian friends, of course, ask them for help. Like I said, I'm going to try to organize something that helps Ukrainians individually. I can't do it. It's very hard for me to do from Ukraine. But also, if you have any Russian friends, maybe you should ask them if they need any help too. Because this is not the Russians, in all of our countries whose fault this is. This is one man. This is Vladimir Putin. This is not the Russians. And these sanctions, these banking systems, everything else like this, I'm sure that if you know any Russians, they do not have any money at all coming from Russia. So I'm sure there's a lot of very scared Russian people that also need a lot of help, right? Um, I've heard from buddies of mine in Bali, in Thailand, they're saying that like their Russian friends have just gone silent because, of course, they're just fun-loving working class Russians, but all of a sudden there's no flights, there's no money, there's no nothing. Right? Can you imagine being stuck in Indonesia? The same thing with I've heard other people. Like I've got a buddy of mine whose wife is in Russia. He's British. They were gonna go. She was gonna send money from Russia before this war to Britain to buy a house. That's gonna be, there goes that idea. Now, of course, also I'd say feel sorry for them, offer them help. The Russian people in 2 years can vote to remove Putin, right? So the thing is, if any Russians are reading this, just remember this: in 2 years, you have a decision to make, right? I can guarantee you these sanctions will be over if you remove that man as your president, right? So this is your decision in 2 years, and this was your decision last election. He did win the popular vote. Let's not lie and say it was some fixed thing. That's the Western propaganda. Russians support Putin. Now the question is, will you support him in 2 years? Now that you see just how absolutely mad he is. And that's it. I'll send a video later on. But I just want to say I'm okay. I'm safe. Sunny's on the table and Tanya's sleeping upstairs. And everything's silent. Okay? Bye for now. Thanks for everything.